Hey everybody, it is not Let's Look at a Black Screen. Welcome to Let's Look at Rocket League. This is a game, well, let's put it this way. If you've watched the channel for a long time, I didn't mean to start on my stats screen. That's a little bit of a humble brag there. If you have watched the Let's Look At series for a long time, how long do I typically play a game for before doing a video on it? 1 hour, 2 hours, even less if it's kind of like a minimalistic, puzzly type thing. I have 23 goddamn hours in Rocket League. Just let that sink in for a minute. I've had it for like 6 days. That's like 4.5 hours a day. We've done multiplayer videos. We've done it on streams. You've probably seen it. I've been playing a lot in my downtime. This comes out on July 7th at midnight, so it's probably already out by the time this video is live. Midnight local time. Whenever it is for you, it'll be, you know, out. 20 bucks on Steam. Free on PlayStation 4 via PS Plus, which is amazing to me. And I just want to not bury the lead and say that genuinely right off the cut, I think that this is possibly a Game of the Year candidate. We're just going to start up a game here so you can see what it's all about before we get started here. And I mean that genuinely. You know, sometimes people will be like, well, this game's weird, but I like it. But no, certainly it's not a Game of the Year candidate. You know, that belongs only to the most ambitious titles and blah, 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 blah. I disagree with that logic. I don't think this is a game that everyone is going to resonate with necessarily as much as it's resonated with me. However, I genuinely do think this is probably the most fun that I have had playing a new game this year. And it's been a good year. Dang it, son. It's been a good year for games. But sincerely, I think that Rocket League kind of stands head and shoulders amongst them for me. So let me explain what I'm getting at there. But if you're on PS4, you should be downloading this via PS Plus right now for free, if I have my say in it. However, what the heck is Rocket League? Well, it's from Psyonix, and they previously, back in the PlayStation 3 era, made a game that was basically, Jesus Christ, these all-star bots are destroying me now. I'm trying to make a good impression, please. They made a game called, like, Supersonic Battle-Powered Acrobatic Cars, or something along those lines. It's like those superlatives. It might be in a slightly different order. Thank you, Jester, for that goal. This is the spiritual successor, or maybe even direct sequel to that game. I'm actually just going to lower the volume somewhat here. The spiritual successor, or perhaps even direct sequel to that game. And it's basically Robot Soccer. If we're going to be like realistic about what the game actually is, Robot Soccer is a pretty good guess. You play in 5-minute games, which is just enough time to like they are not super short. It kind of reminds me of playing like, it's not quite the same as Dota, but it definitely hits that same kind of like, oh, geez, these bots rarely miss shots on this level. But that kind of like, a game is exactly as long as it feels like it needs to be. Like, typically games end up being like 7.5 to 8 minutes long, depending on how many goals get scored because of the replays and stuff like that. You don't have to play 3v3, there's 1v1, 2v2. 3v3 is considered standard, so I guess kind of like the canonical, you know, the same way hockey is played 5v5 plus a goalie, or football is played 11v11. It's like that. There's also 4v4, which is called Chaos Mode. And there's a surprising amount of depth and strategy that goes on here. You might think, and this is the way that we played it at first. Oh, I almost did the second greatest goal I've ever done. Let's do it again. And we scored, finally. When we first started playing it, it's very hard to do anything, you know? It's not like FIFA where there is a shoot button. You just go up to the ball and press shoot or pass, etc., etc. This is a game where you have, you know, drive, boost, flip, basically, handbrake. Drive, boost, flip, handbrake, and you have to use those tools to basically play soccer. It's extremely difficult at first. It's very accessible because it's a lot of fun, and it kind of has this, like, goofball, goalsy type charm when you first get started. And I think that's the way we kind of erroneously thought of the game as first. Oh, that was a great save there. That's kind of the way we erroneously thought of the game at first, and I think that's how a lot of people are going to think of it. They're going to be like, oh, this is like a zany kind of physics-y pseudo-sports game. It is true. You can play it like that. However, there's an unbelievable amount of strategy, tactics, teamwork, and depth that can come in if you get into the game. Not everybody will, you know? I kind of think that this is like a sports game for people who are ashamed to like sports games. Like, I love sports games, but I never find people to play them with, like, my friends in multiplayer, because people are always looking down on sports games. They're always going, oh, you know, it's just a sports game, no big deal. I think I whiffed on that one hard. This has been, like, it's got the same strategy and tactics as a sports game, the same kind of, like, skill, like, low-skill floor, sort of, even though I just mentioned how it's surprisingly difficult to do anything at first. Oh, no! but an incredibly high skill ceiling. You can pull off some really impressive stuff in this game, and it doesn't take a super long time to get there. And as a result, I think I've found it very easy to find people to play with, because they're like, oh, you want to play more Rocket League? Yes. Everybody that I have shown Rocket League to has played the crap out of it. Mathis, just before this video, was like, hey, Rocket League, this is the full version release of the game, do you finally want to, you know, play some more? We played a few multiplayer scrimmages, but we can play, like, against some randoms online or something. And I was like, nah, dude, can't play Rocket League. I'm gonna be too busy making my video where I cover Rocket League. Like, this is the kind of thing that it has become a little bit of an obsession for me. I've been checking the subreddit, I've been watching tournament VODs and stuff like that, and moreover, I've been kind of hashing my tactics out in the practice and scrimmage modes to learn how to do the things I want to do. Typically, I play kind of more of a defensive, like, goalie-ish strat, keeper-ish strat, perhaps, if you will. I know that probably people are not even listening to what I'm saying, they're just focusing on the fact that I said soccer instead of football earlier, and they're getting really mad about it, but that's okay. So, you've probably seen a lot of Rocket League before, either on the stream or on, like the multiplayer scrimmages that we've been doing. This is the final release of the game. It's got some other stuff going on, not just the private matches. Basically, there's matchmaking now, and the community is actually relatively healthy considering the game is only out in a few parts of the world. We're lucky enough to have, like, legacy beta access because we did it on the stream. So basically, the game is out in some parts of the world, and even though it's not out everywhere, it's, well, it didn't take very long for me to find the game that I played online earlier, and you can actually see how many people are in the lobbies. It's a not ridiculously low number or anything like that, and the game isn't even technically out yet, which is why I'm impressed by it. And I'm sure on PS4 this is going to have a very large community, at least at launch, because of the fact that it's going to be free with PS Plus, and I can't encourage you enough that, especially for free, there is absolutely no reason to not at least give it a shot, and you might find yourself becoming a little addicted. But the other things, oh man, I blew this one hard. The other things that are present in this release are a regular season mode, and I'll admit, most of the 23 hours that I played has been against bots, so I'm not above playing against bots. It's kind of a rudimentary regular season mode. There's not really any detailed stat tracking that I can see. I mean, there is a stat screen, but it's for you as a player, not as, like your player within a season or anything like that. So in comparison to something like Frozen End Zone, which is another sports game for people who don't like sports games, and for people who do like sports games for that matter, an accessible sports game, let's call it. Ah, that could have been good. It kind of pales in comparison with respect to its stat tracking and stuff like that, and there's no character development or player development or anything like that. That's another thing I wanted to touch on and should have done so earlier because it's a very commonly asked question. Oh my god, that was loud. It's a very commonly asked question when it comes to Rocket League. There is car customization. All the cars handle roughly the same. All the cars have roughly the same hitboxes. None of them have special abilities. None of the hats give you an advantage or anything like that. So it is very much skill-based, and there are people who are going to disagree with that, and there's people who are going to agree with it. I'm of two minds. I think it would be cool if you could, like, almost League of Legends style, like add runes or modifications to your car to inhibit it in some ways and make it better in some ways, so you could spec up like a defense car, like this car is slow but 20% larger or something like that, but because there's not, it definitely feels like it's way more of kind of an even playing field. It's based on like skill, if that makes sense, which can be frustrating because it means that when you fuck up, you fucked up. But on the other hand, I think it definitely makes it rewarding when you put in all that practice and it works. So let's look at the character customization very quickly. Here's all the vehicles that I've unlocked, which is like all of them. You can get decals for your car, decals, so we can put like a stripe on it, for example, instead of those dots if we wanted to. There's various different kinds of paint jobs, like maybe we want to roll like a glossy paint job instead. And, you know, there's only two teams, blue and orange, so we'll have like a blue team set up like this. Actually, much prefer kind of like the Shelby Cobra look like that. Okay, and we'll go with like glossy paint as well. And then for the orange team, maybe we'll go with something like a semi-gloss, and then we'll make this one the white as well, just so it's the same. You know, different kinds of vehicles. How could I not take the vehicles that are dollar signs? It's just so cheesy. This is kind of a funny one. You know, you can get different kinds of boosts. This is a boost that shoots dollar bills out of your back. That seems like we have to go with that. And as for hats, there's all the hats in the game, I think, actually. Let's roll with maybe like the fire helmet. Or if I had money shooting out the back of my car, what would I be? And the crown seems like a little rich. Top hat. Although it's a little bit TB-like now. Maybe we can go Taxi topper, okay. And I really like that you get the opportunity to put like different things on your antenna as well, so you can represent what country you're from. So there's many countries in the game. Not every country is in the game. Well, I mean, it depends. I don't want to get into political stuff. But I was looking for the Nepalese flag because Nepal has a dope flag, and it wasn't in here. But anyway, we're not going to put the Northern Irish flag on here, not because I have anything against them, but because I have something very much for the country of my home. So this is the regular season mode. I have done one game of it here. It's a 23-week season, I think? Something like that. And you can see this is like our screen right here. There's no stat screen. You don't upgrade your bots as you play. You know, there's no all-star game as far as I know. You basically just have a season and you play it out. So it's bare bones. It's the kind of thing that I probably will be more likely to do if I'm playing against bots than just doing an exhibition match. Like, I've been doing a lot of exhibition matches, but I'd much rather at least have some kind of, like, win-loss tracking at the very least that is a little bit more formal. But I don't think there's, like, a huge need to really play that. But if you're into playing with the bots and you want to practice with the bots, you can. There's also training, and the training is actually surprisingly good. Basically, it's a little bit like going to a batting cage for baseball. They pitch you a ball, for lack of a better word, and then you have to do something specific with it. In the goalie training, you have to block it. Striker training, you have to score. And aerial training, they just kind of leave the balls hanging in the air, and you have to fly up to them. Cool. Let's. This is what everyone's going to be interested in the most, I think, is the online mode. So let's play it here. There is ranked and unranked. Right now, you can see there's 249 players online. You choose the playlist of your choice, and I believe that the bar represents how many people are in it right now. So ranked has almost nobody, and especially solo standard, which is what I like to play, is 3v3. Duel is fine, but it's kind of like, it's not representative of what the game is like. You don't get any team play, obviously. It's just 1v1. Doubles is very, very close to being the same level of strategy as 3v3, but a little bit less defensively minded, I find. I really like standard, and, you know, as you can see, there's 81 people in standard right now. We can put doubles on there maybe if we wanted to as well. You can queue for multiple things at the same time, but there's only 9 extra people in doubles. So admittedly, 82 people online right now that are actually searching for a game is not that many. However, I can't stress enough that the game has literally just come out in the world. There we go. And we already got a game here quickly. So I'm assuming that a lot of people are queuing. I mean, it only takes 6 people to make a game. Ooh, we got a night map here. And we can just quickly mute everybody. I've actually played against a couple of these people before. Oh, we've got 2 more people that we're waiting for, I see. It would be cool if we could kind of like tool around in the warm-up mode here. I've never had to wait for a game before, but every time that I've queued, I've gotten into a game within maybe 25 to 30 seconds, so it's pretty fast. Oh, we're about to start here. So I'm going to try to play a little bit more of a defensive style here. I do wish there were more people playing the ranked modes, but I'm assuming that's the kind of thing that's going to come in time. And, oh, is Viper a real person or a bot? Because I made you read poop. Definitely sounds like a person name. Viper, though, sounds like a bot name. And holy crap, Viper has scored. Nobody just Steam names themselves Viper, right? I don't know, though. He's got an antenna. Well, actually, the bots typically do tend to have hats and antennas. Alright. Well, that's on me. I did say I was going to play the goalie, and I kind of just abandoned my post. So, it's one of those things where, like, multiplayer communities or multiplayer-focused games live and die, obviously, based on the number of people that are playing the game in the diehard community. It's kind of impossible to say right now what the Rocket League community is going to be like, but I think it has an incredible chance to be a super popular game. Or at least popular enough. Oh, Viper! Viper, no! Wow, you're making me look so bad, Viper! Viper! It has the chance to be a super popular game for a couple of reasons. Let me give you my reasoning. First off, the game isn't even out yet. It takes 45 seconds to find a game for me. That's pretty good. That's a really good sign. It's free on PS Plus, which obviously if you're playing on PS4, I think, or I'm not sure if it's coming out on PS3 for that matter, but if you're playing on PS4, obviously that means that you're very likely to have people to compete with, at least this month, while it's free, and it remains free for people that keep their PS Plus subscriptions during that time. Ooh, oh, he's good! Dusty Mines is good, man. That was a great hit there. And also, I feel like if people are gonna, some people at least are gonna play it on PS Plus and then be like, well, I'm gonna pick it up on PC now because I like it so much. Also, the subreddit is bumping already. It's not like as popular as like an R Dota 2 or a League of Legends or anything like that, but there's actually like a lot of fervor for this game, even though it's not out yet. So I would be surprised to not see this at least for a while, and hopefully for a longer term, become a pretty popular game. Oh jeez, oh jeez. Oh, I fucked it. That's okay. It's only 2-0. It's because of the freaking AI or the dude who named himself Viper because he's super serious. Here we go. Get into position. Get into position. So really, I can't say, oh, you pushed me, but I wasn't going to save it anyway, and don't let us get blown out. Don't let us get blown out! That was a great goal. Holy crap, I'm getting my ass rocked. This doesn't feel good. Anyway, if people are going to be asking themselves, you know, should I get Rocket League? My answer for me is 100% equivocally or unequivocally yes. What's, you know, things should I kind of mention to make it a little bit more of I don't want to say a muted response, but something that's more fair to everybody? I fucking love sports games, and I have a history of getting really invested in these kind of like pseudo sports games. Like, I liked Frozen End Zone probably... Are you kidding me? Probably a little bit more than the average person like Frozen End Zone. I'm a sporty kind of guy. You wouldn't really know it that much, but I really like the kind of statness of sports, or the statistic-heavy nature of sports, and I like the teamwork and tactics that are required. So I think I'm predisposed naturally to like these games a little bit more than most people. But compared to something like Frozen End Zone, that was a little bit more, I don't want to say inaccessible, but it was hard to explain. You're like, okay, it's a simultaneous turn-based football game, only the rules of football don't really apply. It's got its own unique rule set. I love Frozen End Zone and played the crap out of it. Oh, thank you. I love Frozen End Zone and played the crap out of it, but it's a lot easier to just be like, hey, it's robot soccer. I think that definitely gets the job done. But I would really recommend, if you're getting in, if you have a PS4, pick this up for PS4 for free. If you don't have a PS4 and you're thinking 20 bucks on Steam seems a little excessive, I really can't stress enough that within my first week, that's under $1 an hour. Now, admittedly, like I said, I'm a little bit predisposed to liking these sorts of games, I feel. However, I intend to be spending a lot more time with it as well, especially now that there's you know, probably going to be a decent online community backing it up. Bobon! My hero! I've been playing pretty badly today, but luckily my teammate is almost carrying me out of the madness here, and that was a great goal. And you get those kind of like, this is what, you know, people have been telling us as they've been watching our multiplayer scrimmages and stuff like that, and I'm really glad that this feeling comes through. People have been like, I'm on the edge of my seat watching Rocket League. Have you heard us playing it? Like, there's so much like, oh, the plays, oh, like, oh, whoops, there's a quick chat. But I've muted everybody, so I'm not sure it's going to work. Bobons is the Lionel Messi that we need. Maybe not the one that we deserve, though. It's a really, really exciting game. And there's local multiplayer, there's split screen and stuff like that. This is the kind of thing I would love to play with, you know, friends of mine, just kind of chilling on the couch on a Saturday afternoon or something like that. It's really, I just can't say enough that it's so much fun. And a lot of games, you know, you kind of go, oh, this has like a unique kind of niche idea, but it doesn't really succeed at it that well, or it's not that polished. This is unbelievably... Oh, yes! This is unbelievably polished. The game looks good, it runs great. I hope that it comes across well in the video here. It looks amazing, it runs great, and the UI is really slick and smooth. This looks like it's made by a AAA company instead of like a couple of dudes in their basement, which is not meant to be offensive. You know, one of my best games of all time is made by a couple of dudes, maybe not in their basement, but, you know, in a bedroom of a moderately priced home. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. I love you, Bobons, but we don't want to do that. What about that one? You like that little cheeky play there? Ooh, you can demolish people, by the way. I haven't mentioned it. You'd think, like, oh, that's a big thing to mention. It is kind of important, but it doesn't come up all that often. Ah! Bobons! I fucked it! Bobons, I'm sorry. I had 100 chances here. All I could do was kind of nip it a little bit. You know what? I actually might have directed it just enough to the side to have it not go in, but still, I left them with too big of a juicy hanger there. People don't respect front flip meta enough. But yeah, like this, it's incredibly polished, and that's why I think that BEA beautiful. It kind of plays like a Game of the Year contender, and I don't think it's going to be a Game of the Year contender for everybody, but it is solidly, almost guaranteed to be in the top 10 for me at the very least. Dusty, you hanging back here? You hanging back here, Dusty? Bobons, you got it, buddy. You want to touch the ball, you get to touch the ball. Because you have put us back into this game. Oh my god, he was flying. Now, I haven't talked about flying because I suck at it. But it is something that you can do. Oh, it is something that you can do. Maybe I'll go to training after this and show it off a little bit because I don't want to fuck my teammates. We are going to win, and we are the greatest team of all time. Let's form a squad. Let's start practicing 30 hours a week, and eventually, you know, Dusty Minds is going to sleep with Bobon's girlfriend, and the whole team is going to break up, and it's going to be incredible esports drama. But in the meantime, we'll be the best goddamn Rocket League team the world has ever seen. All we did was let in 4 goals. Maybe if we could just get a better goalie, but then that means there's no place for me on the team. Alright. I do wish that there was more activity in the ranked play, but again, that's the kind of thing that I'm assuming is going to come later. And it should be, like, you should take it as a really good sign that I couldn't wait until the game was actually out to do a Let's Look At, which is bad for due diligence, I'll admit. Oh, come on. I shouldn't have tried to do it stylishly. It's bad for due diligence, I'll admit, because I don't know that the game is going to have a burgeoning community. But I think it's a great sign that the game has more players online right now than, you know, the average game has at launch, and it's only out in, like, New Zealand and Russia or something like that. You know, it's only out in those most eastern time zones. Anyway, that was a great game. I'm not going to vote for the rematch here. I mean, look at these people have huge pings, so I'm assuming that most of them are probably not in North America. Maybe they're in Asia or... Well, I mean, I was queuing on US West, East, and Europe, so maybe they're in Europe. But anyway, here, I'll show you quickly in training, like, I'll show you quickly in free play, I should say, what you can do with flying. So you could, like, hit a ball over into the side here, and then if you just angle yourself upwards, you can actually get, like, a little bit of height and fly. Why you would want to do this is to, like, execute amazing maneuvers in the air. Admittedly, I have used this a lot, and it has failed me almost every single time. But I have to imagine that if you're great at it, you could do some really impressive stuff with it. But it's kind of like, you know, doing fancy footwork in FIFA and stuff like that. Like, it's... You don't need it to play the game at a decent level. It is beyond me, but it is kind of cool, and it's there to learn. And maybe I'll be able to learn it in the future. Also, if we go back to the main menu, I just want to show off quickly... you know, there's also all sorts of different stadiums. DFH Stadium is the one I played on, like, almost exclusively. Urban Central, Manfield, that might have been the one we just did. Beckwith Park is the one for training. And then there's, like, stormy versions of the map and night versions of the map. You can go as high as 4v4, 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4. There's no... You can do no bots. And then there's Rookie, which is very easy. Pro, which is kind of standard. All-Star, which is a little difficult and unfair, which I've never tried. But honestly, this is Rocket League right here. As far as extras go, you know, there's leaderboards. I'm assuming that we're probably not ranked that well right now with only 2 wins, but that's okay. Oh, we've already got like a freaking clan match going on here. But anyway, there's a stat screen as well that you can see. I played 120 matches. That's pretty sobering for me. In like a week, that's pretty ridiculous. And, I mean, what about replays? Oh, I didn't actually save any replays. Anyway, that's Rocket League. I think this is one of the best games of the year. On PS4, if you have PS Plus, there's no reason to not download it at all. It's amazing. Oh, there you go. Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars is the original over here. If you're on Steam, $20 is maybe a high asking price, but it's so worth it for the amount of content and the accessibility and addictiveness of this game. I really can't stress this enough. Maybe this is a minority opinion, but I would be okay paying $60 for this game, and I think it's definitely more reasonably priced at $30. Even if you are not quite as fervent about this style of gameplay as me, I encourage you to give it a shot if you get a chance. It's a lot of fun. You can play it solo, you can play it 3v3 if you got a couple of friends to go with you, but however you play it, I would recommend that you play it. This has definitely been one of the most fun gaming experiences I've had this year. Sure, it lacks like a deep campaign or something like that, but this is my style of game, is this like really fun core gameplay mechanic, short games that you just play over and over and over, and you find yourself spending, you know, 4 hours on it when you were only going to spend 25 minutes. This is Rocket League. It's really good. Well done, Psyonix. It's fantastic, and also I love the Lucchini wheels. Anyway, there will be a link in the video description below to pick up Rocket League if you are interested. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, I'm sure this is not the last you're going to see of Rocket League on my channel, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.